In today's video, we're going to talk about some of the misconceptions that we have of relationships. Hello, my people! Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Oh my god, it's amazing to say that. Like, I don't think I'll ever get tired of saying this. But to everyone who's new to my channel, welcome, subscribe, like, share some love, do what you need to do to, I'm gonna stop fumbling there, but yeah.
5 minutes later.
It feels amazing. I'm so happy that I've been able to take our relationship to the next level. Like, I'm so excited that we've gone from Instagram to YouTube. So now we can talk about things in more in depth and have like these wonderful quality discussions that we're just not able to through, the small little space that we've got on Instagram. So I'm really, really excited. And thank you so much to everyone who gave me feedback on my previous video, because it gave me an idea on, what to improve on, how to talk better, all of those things. I really appreciate it, and it means so much to me that you tune in to these videos and you actually watch them and enjoy them and get something useful from them. So thumbs up for you all and a thumbs up for me. So in today's video, we're going to talk about some of the misconceptions that we have of relationships. So we've all been there, okay? As singletons, we've all had these particular ideals of relationships. We've had these ideas of exactly what a relationship would entail, what it would give us, what to expect, and we've let that drive us forward. But then when we get into a relationship, we let these ideals determine the direction that our relationship goes in. This leads to serious problems in our relationships, because those true beliefs that we have about our relationships, or about relationships in general, which come from the conversations that we have with our friends, or the relationships that we witness between our parents, or whoever else that we draw these templates from, they are actually false beliefs. They're not true beliefs. So today's video is going to be about 3 of the false beliefs that we have about relationships that need to be broken down in order for us to have healthy, happy relationships going forward. So the first false belief that we have about relationships is the idea that your partner is your best friend. Now, let me clarify. This doesn't mean that you can't go to your partner to offload about, problems that you're having in your life, or to get support and advice from them. It doesn't mean that your partner can't be your go-to person for some of the most, difficult experiences that you have in your life. What it does mean, however, is that assuming that your partner is the person that you need to go to for everything is wrong. So a lot of the time when we get into relationships, we forget some of our closest friends and family members and just close people that we really cared about. Now, these are people who have been there for us through some of the most difficult times in our lives. They're people that we went to for invaluable advice, people who have supported us, people who mean so much to us. But the moment that we get into a relationship, these people, they take a backseat, because our partner becomes our everything. Now, research has shown that relying on your partner for them to be your sole form of support, encouragement, and communication is actually very unhealthy in a relationship. And in fact, having a few people aside from your partner who are there for your support and encouragement is actually better, and it's more nourishing for your relationship. You need to understand that your partner is a human being with their own battles, their own challenges, their own problems. They are going through things in their life, and if you're going to rely on them for every single thing in your life, all your issues, all your happiness, all your support, all your encouragement, you're putting too much pressure on them. You're putting too much on them when they have so much to deal with as it is. You need to give yourself and them a breather. A healthy relationship is one where there's a balance of communication and support with your partner, but there's also enough room and space for you both to breathe and do your own things and have your own friends and have your own lives, where you can offload so that when you come together again, you're not constantly putting stuff on each other. Now, if you're unable to see the importance that your family and friends and their support can have in your life while you're in a relationship, you're really going to struggle, because you won't be able to access that support if you are going through problems in that very relationship as well. So maintaining, those relationships is very important. The second false belief that we have about relationships is this idea that a healthy relationship doesn't have any disagreements. This is a complete mess, but I don't know why lots of people think that if they get into a relationship, a good relationship, it will be one where they won't have any problems, they won't have any disagreements, they won't have any arguments, and they'll live in this bubble of, love, laughter, and smiles. While this is true to a certain extent, it's not completely true of relationships as a whole, unfortunately. The first thing you need to understand when it comes to being in a relationship is that you are two different people who've had a different set of upbringing, different experiences, different worldviews, different moral views that have contributed to the people that you've become today. Of course, you're going to have disagreements. Of course, you're going to want one thing and they're going to want another. Of course, there's going to be moments where you don't see eye to eye and you don't want the same things from life. And that's completely okay. You'll have problems and you'll have arguments, but it's not about having those arguments that's an issue. It's about how you come through from those arguments and how you come through from those disagreements. The difference between a healthy and a non-healthy relationship isn't the lack of disagreements, it's the context of those disagreements and it's the degree of those disagreements. In a healthy relationship, you both want to resolve those problems in your relationship so that you can reach a happier place together. You don't play games, you don't gaslight them, you don't make them feel bad about the problems, you're not toxic for them, you're not, they're not toxic for you, you don't treat each other in a way where the problem is making you both fall apart and come apart. In fact, those problems are ways for you both to come together because you can understand how you work as a team and how you can problem solve. So the difference between a healthy and a non-healthy relationship isn't the lack of disagreements, it's the context and the degree and the way that you come through from them. The third and final false belief that we have about relationships is this idea that a relationship is the cure to all my problems. The amount of people that believe this is crazy. Like, I've come across so many people, my own friends, my own family members, where the way when I talk to them, when they speak to me about relationships, they have this perception that everybody who's in a relationship is happy and people who are not in a relationship are incomplete, and the only way to reach this place of happiness is by getting into a relationship, which is completely false. A relationship is not going to cure your problems. Let me just repeat myself. A relationship is not going to cure your problems. Maybe we can blame social media for this, for the fact that there's so many happy, jolly couples out there. Or, in movies and songs where they paint this picture of happily ever after, where once you've fought all the issues to get into a relationship, the fact that you're in a relationship, the movie just, it ends, essentially indicating that everything's okay after that. Or it's the fact that people don't talk about their problems as much as they talk about their happy things. On social media, you're not going to see someone post a photo of them arguing with their partner. They're going to post a photo of their celebrations, of, their anniversaries, of the moment where they feel really happy. They're not going to tell you when they are sad. They're not going to tell you about their problems. So maybe all of these things contribute to our perception of why relationships, are seen as some sort of solution to all of our problems. But they're not, okay? They're not a cure to all of the issues that we're having in our lives. Your partner is not a therapist. Unless they actually are by profession, then, great for you. But your partner is not a therapist. They're not a magician with some kind of wand, which is very, efficient here. Some kind of wand that they're just going to flick around and all your problems are going to disappear. They're not here to fight your battles. They're not here to get rid of those anxieties, those fears. Those problems are still going to be there. Those anxieties are still going to be there. Those monsters inside your head, those battles, those insecurities, every single problem that you've got in your life at the moment cannot be solved by being in a relationship. Because your partner was never supposed to be the person to fix them. You were. Your partner is only there to cheer you on from the sideline as you fix those problems for yourself. They're only there to hold your hand as you step towards healing and recovery. Now, for all you singletons who are doing this by yourself, who are cheering for yourself as you get rid of all those monsters and fears and fight your battles, great for you, okay? You don't need someone to cheer for you either. So if you think that you need to get into a relationship because someone will cheer on for you, you don't need that either. You don't need to be in a relationship for that. This is one of the most common misconceptions that people have about relationships, which causes people getting into relationships that they weren't ready for, or people getting into relationships that are great but they end up falling apart because of this perception. Broken people get into relationships with others with the hope that their brokenness will be fixed. And when that doesn't happen, they come out of that relationship even more frustrated, even more upset that this didn't happen, and they either get into more relationships to fill that, hole inside their life, or they just constantly fall into that pit of darkness and further brokenness when it shouldn't be like that. Okay? Now, if you're working on yourself, that's great. Keep working on yourself. Keep going, and only get into a relationship when you are ready to. Don't get into a relationship because you feel like it will fix you, or it will solve your problems, or it will make you happier. Because yes, to an extent it will, okay? It will make you very happy, it will bring you a lot of joy, but it won't bring you the kind of joy that you think it's going to bring you. It's not going to bring you the kind of balm to fix your wounds, and it's not going to fix your problems. So that's the 3 main false beliefs that people have on relationships that I wanted to cover today. There are so many more. We have so many messed up beliefs about relationships that, decide the direction that our relationship goes on, and they impact our relationships so badly. And I will discuss these later on, but I wanted to discuss these because these are some of the most important ones, and they determine, the happiness and sadness in our relationship to a great extent. So if you are in a relationship and you've been doing this so far, think about it and try and think of different ways to bring joy into your relationship. And it's not too late. You can still, think about a different way of approaching your relationship, a different way of approaching your partner. And if you are thinking of getting into a relationship, then that is great, because if you read into this, if you look into this is going to be so good for you when you get into a relationship, because you're not going to let these false beliefs determine how happy or how sad you are. And they're not going to determine the overall quality of your relationship. So thank you so much for watching this video today. I'm so happy that you tuned in, and I hope that you got something out of it. If you liked it, please like, subscribe, comment, whichever direction I've done that in, and let me know what you thought, and I'll see you all next week.